Weighty Matters of the Heart, your reference point that reveals the truth on love, sexuality, marriage, manhood, and womanhood. Watch our exciting drama, refreshing talk shows, great tips to healthy living, and insight to having a great home. The Weighty Matters of the Heart offers a biblical view to today's generational quest for answers that truly touch the heart. Weighty Matters of the Heart. No assumptions.
You're welcome to another episode of the Weighty Matters of the Heart. I'm still a Kaiteta, and I've heard so much in the past few days that love is in the air. Did you hear that? Stay tuned, we'll be back. You're welcome back. I need to read a passage before we go on discussing what is going on. And just before I read the passage, if you have been following up on the recent drama, The Rising Confusion, I just beg you to hold on. We'll complete those series. We need to attend to this season because of what people are talking about this season of Valentine. And but I want to know that what we're talking about is still a branch of the rising confusion. Valentine, a season that can mark another kind of rising confusion. Take note of that as I read this passage. In 1 John chapter 3, I'll read from verse 11. He said, "This is the message you've heard from the beginning. We should love one another. We must not be like Cain, who belonged to the evil one and killed his brother." And why did he kill him? Because Cain had been doing what was evil, and his brother had been doing what was righteous. So don't be surprised, dear brothers and sisters, if the world hates you. Let me stop there. We're talking about love in the air, and we're hearing the story of a family, two brothers, that one hated that one so much that he had to kill. And why did he kill? According to the scripture, because what the brother was doing was more righteous than what he was doing. Before I go into this issue of Cain and Abel, let's look at the issues that surround Valentine. And most times people say, oh, it's about love, about love, about love, about love. And I want to title Valentine Love as part of the rising confusion. Why do I say that? Because we look at the quality of love. If you want to learn love, the kind of love that we need, not just seasonally, the love that really brings the healing, the love that builds the family, the love that builds society, the love that protects one another, the love that makes us do the best and give the best. It's not seasonal. That is one of my real issue with Valentine. Why is love seasonal? Why wouldn't you allow true love to become a lifestyle, not an event? If you are very honest with me, you have known that Valentine is an event. And how many homes after the season continue to treat one another with God-centered love, other-centered love? If it was real, From last year's Valentine to this year's Valentine, we have more divorces, we have more unity at home, more godly responsibilities being provided for others in need, more sacrifices. But all we hear is a generation of, I can't take that. I'll take that no more. That is enough. You don't deserve my time. You don't deserve my dime. I see entrenched more and more self-centeredness and self-focus in what we call love. So why is there rising confusion? Because many are deceived, seeing love as a seasonal thing, whereas love is a personality. Seeing love as an event, whereas love is a lifestyle. And I want to warn you that if you have not discovered how to show love, true love, and how to make it a lifestyle, you end up being deceived to see this season of love, which has made a lot of people become reduced, just acts as mere mammals on hits, looking for sexual mates in the name of romance and other things. I want to assure you that when it's not true and when it's not real, whatever you have that is fake, no matter how much you glamorize it, no matter how much you present it, decorate it, no matter how much you shout about its importance, as long as it's fake, let's bet it will never last. It will not produce the results that you wanted. You end up with more pains. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Young woman, I'm very concerned. Because quite unlike others, as a man, when a young woman is hurt, the scars, some of them become so permanent. I still remember personally, while I was in secondary school, I had some classmates that this euphoria of Valentine love caught up with many of them. Some of them were just old-fashioned, who do not know what love is. They were the happening girls. I still remember at the point when I had not really been rooted with the truth, I felt left out. I felt not beautiful. I felt not wanted. I felt missing out. But as soon as I got the truth, I started pitying those who are being moved and seduced by instincts, by emotionalism, with things. Love become things, a lot of it because of this. But the height of it was that after we've graduated and we didn't meet ourselves again, I was going to buy something in the market and I was pricing it without looking so closely to the face of the person selling. Well, I said, please, add some jar now. It was tomatoes. And to my shock, the tomato seller called my name, my maiden name, Ekaite Kowa. Are you the one? I was taken aback. And I wondered, excuse me, how did you know me so intimately? I'm married for so many years, but you could still get my maiden name. While I was wondering how I knew her, where we knew ourselves, I just saw tears. It's a true life story coming down the cheeks of my former classmates. And I said, no, what is the problem? Please, what is the problem? Madam, have I done something wrong? He said, just come. We went where we could just be a bit private. He said, you don't remember me again. You can't. I've been deformed. I've been malformed. I'm not the person you knew. Because she missed the meaning of true love. As she was taken advantage of. But eventually she believed the young man and they got married, not the right way, because she had to get pregnant and the parents said, oh, you've already, just go. And just like the euphoria of the romance of the season, she felt she was in a little heaven because of all the words that this young man spoke into her mind. She just believed that this is it. I've got love now. I'm now really in love, and my parents don't know what love is. Eventually, after having 6 children, she was abandoned for another woman who was fresher, newer. And she had not had even a career. And so she had to support the 6 children. And she has to begin to do all manner of things. And that was why she looked so old that I couldn't even identify her as my mate. And she said, but now, that's the sad part. Yes, a very wonderful part. But now, Ekaite, those things people used to say about God and what is real and what is the truth, which we hated people for being holier than thou, the Marys and this. I've gone back to them, even though now I have a scar to show the generation my foolishness. The foolishness of walking by instinct, by emotional experiences, which I called love. That's a rising confusion. And then 6 children abandoned by a man that claimed to love her more than anything, money, for anything on earth. I want to tell you, for this season, anything that you are going to be involved with that will not respect God's presence. Anything going to involve that you will not like to be in public for God to see, you are not proud of, you have been deceived. Just take note of that. Anything that turns into just a mere mama controlled by instincts and emotions. And makes you to look and say, Valentine, it's time to look for mates. Look for mates. Mating season. I want to tell you that a man or a woman, you should be ashamed that you are reducing yourself to a mere mama controlled by instincts. That is not love. Love builds. Love beautifies. True love builds and beautifies. True love doesn't take advantage of the other person. True love respects the dignity of that person. True love is a personality, let me say it again, and the person behind true love, the person that is love personified, is the Lord Jesus Christ himself. And that's why it's impossible to have true love without learning it from God. Let me see that passage again. And let me warn you that if you don't love what is righteous, and you don't love those who are holding on to the righteous standard of God, then watch out. You've joined those mammals who have reduced themselves into mammals. And what they're going to be doing, I assure you, will not be love. It will be what animals do in the name of love. And that's why even for those of us who are family members, if your love is seasonal, you have been deceived. If your love for your wife is seasonal, Your love for your husband is seasonal. Love for your children is seasonal. There's a time you can remember that they are special. No. I want you to go on break. We'll come back. We shall talk more about the person and the personality that makes love a lifestyle. I love this in 1 John chapter 3 from verse 16. I'm reading from a New Living Translation. It says, we know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. So we also ought to give up our lives for our brothers and sisters. If someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in that person? Dear children, let's not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions. Our actions will show that we belong to the truth. So we will be confident when we stand before God. I want to stop there. It's so clear that the reality of love is what Christ did and who he is. Say he is love himself. And his love is not a love of mouth. Oh, my sweetie pie, my dearest, honey, precious, beautiful names. I don't say you should drop those names. I'm just saying that let this name be translated to action, loving action. That any love by the mouth without a backup of loving action is fake. That's why he said here that real love was demonstrated. He said, for God so loved the world, and then he gave. Husbands, please, I just want to beg you, if you've not allowed the life of Christ in you, you do the Valentine kind of love where it's fake. You do it for a season time like that. I even take pictures and post on Facebook pretending to say you love. No. Any love that is seasonal is not true. When it becomes your lifestyle, that you look with compassion on your wife, when you look on compassion, be asking God, what can I do? Actions to show how much I appreciate her, how much dignified she is in my eyes, how much I honor her. Whatever you can keep doing daily as a matter of habit, as a matter of reality in your heart condition. What can you sacrifice for her? What? The same to the women. Some people say, oh no, women are not meant to love you. They say we should just submit. No. If you go to read very well, even submission is a measure of love. You can't submit to a person you don't love. Maybe that's why the Bible started if you look at Ephesians 5, there's a verse that began by saying, submit one to another in the fear of the Lord. Then emphasis on the wife, submit to your husband as unto the Lord. And the husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church. So submission is a measure of love. If you love a man, if you love a husband, you submit to him. You didn't know that. You didn't know that. So what if you write 10 cards and 20 cards and he's somebody you don't respect, you don't love him. Let's go back to reality. And you don't care about his welfare. Many husbands leave homes without food. Not that there's no food. And not that they have not provided. Because somebody doesn't love them enough to think about them and prepare a package, a healthy package, something to go on with. That's care. So we're talking about action. Yes, action, action, action. Wives, put in the action of love. Husband, put in the action of love and make it run through your lifetime, not on Valentine's Day only. Children, do you love your parents? I was at the labor of one of my grandchildren just recently in the labor room, and I told the father, be there and watch what a woman goes through. And he was literally crying. So I said, no, don't tell me that this is what mothers go through. Yes, apart from carrying the weight of the baby for 9 months, and they go through that excruciating pain that cannot be described, to give birth to a child, nurse a child through the teething time, through the pampers time, through all the dates and everything, and a child rises up one day and looks at the mother and says, stupid woman. And then you say you're doing Valentine with what? You're under a curse already. And I don't know how many cursed people can truly love. Young woman, a man that doesn't respect the mother cannot respect you. Take note of that. Just take note. A man that doesn't love and honor the mother cannot. And a man that doesn't fear God and wants to sleep with you, doesn't care about what God says, doesn't love you. You have been deceived. I think this series on still on the rising confusion and the issue of love will continue next week. But I want to warn all of us with this. If your love, it says, if you have love, your neighbor cannot feel the impact of your love. Your brother cannot feel the impact of your love. Your sister cannot feel the impact of your love. Your husband, your wife, your parents, your children. Excuse me. Stop this. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Let's stop wasting money on Valentine. Let's make it a lifelong and a lifestyle. Living with my husband, my wife, my children. Let love become our language. At home, in the street, in the schools. I'm sorry to end up with a story that is trending now. But teenage girls with human parts. Teenage boys with human parts. Excuse me. Do you see where we have degenerated to? Because we refuse to learn love from God. We have become mammals. Animals, killing one another, destroying one another, having no dignity for human life. Not talk of abortion on the increase. Some people are going in for free sex and aborting and just killing off the babies because to them they are no human. I want to tell you, will you allow God to teach you love? By you saying yes to Jesus. Saying yes to Jesus, responding to him will make the difference. Responding to Jesus, because if you don't respond to love in Christ, how will you know how to love? Who can ever love you that much to give you his very life? If that is not enough to provoke a response from you, you are now going to be a victim of the fake love. Because when he comes in your life, he becomes the love center in your life. He is the one that will become your teacher on how to love. And I want to tell you that those who have learned how to love God's way are the ones that are there, feel full of joy, peace. They are settled. In fact, nothing you can do to them that makes them stop loving. These are the people that even if you hate them for loving you, it doesn't change them. Because that's what God is. They are people full of mercy. Yes. And are people who want the best for you. Not only in this life, but the life to come. Children, when parent discipline is part of love. Because anyone that loves somebody only in this life and not for eternity has not reached the heights of love. True love loves now and loves to help whatever it will take to help that person make heaven. I want to tell you, in our home, we have made up our mind as a family. Each person, let's fight for each other to make heaven. To feel heaven in our homes and then be prepared for heaven. Can you take that as your own vision for love? love for now, and love for eternity. God bless you.
Weighty Matters of the Heart, your reference point that reveals the truth on love, sexuality, marriage, manhood, and womanhood. Watch our exciting drama, refreshing talk shows, great tips to healthy living, and insight to having a great home. The Weighty Matters of the Heart offers a biblical view to today's generational quest for answers that truly touch the heart. Weighty Matters of the Heart. No assumptions.